Hello, hello. I am just, let me just swap that there for that, and let me open up the chat here. This is my very first live, and I just want to make sure that everything is okay. So, welcome. This is a new thing that I'm doing, and I've been really looking forward to it. Being quite selfish, really. This is purely for me to get back to my drawing. So this thing right here is my webcam. So I'm going to have a quick chat and then I will turn it over onto so that you can see the drawing. I have got the drawing up on the screen. I hope you can see that. And I've got my keyboard here and I obviously can see the screen. You can give me questions. Hopefully you've got a chat there and you can even just say hello would be nice. And excuse me for my little cough. It is a COVID cough. I had COVID 3 weeks ago and I'm at the end of it and it is just this little cough that just shoots out. I've got no control on it. So we are drawing the ice cream cone tonight. I have my image here in front of me. If you have subscribed to the Mrs. Red's Art Room website, you would have received the image of the ice cream cone last night. And that will be every week. So if you do want to join in and draw along with me, that's the best way to do it because you can actually pull it up nice and big on your screen or even print it out. So all these images or most of these images will come from Unsplash. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of the photographer for this one, but it is always mentioned in the email. Now, it's a graphite drawing tonight, so hence why the the image is black and white. My two is also black and white that I've got there because we don't need the colour for it. So without further ado, I will throw it onto the webcam and we'll get drawing and I'll show you my art supplies then as well. So I'll just change the camera over. Like I said, I've had a couple more join. By all means, just say hello in the chat so I know at least it's working as well. All right, there we go. Now, if I enlarge this, I'll do it to there. It gets a little bit fuzzy if I enlarge it too much. Okie dokie. So, the intention behind these lives is to keep to a time frame. We're looking at either between 60 minutes and 90 minutes. I might even actually start my timer so that I know that I'm keeping to that. And they will vary as well. So I'll do a lot of just graphite drawing and then there'll be a bit of mixed media involved as well, just depending on the image really, what sort of like inspires me with the images that I choose. Now, the stuff that I'm using tonight, there's quite a bit that I have chosen from and I am just going to chop and change because I haven't done this for a good 25 years of regular drawing and I just wanted to have a real choice of drawing equipment to use. So the pencils that I've got, there's 3 different brands. Actually, there's 4 different brands because I've got a mechanical pencil there as well. I've got a HB, a 4B, a 6B in the Faber-Castell. Then there is a 6B and a 4B in the Staedtler Mars Lumograph Black. Now that has some charcoal in it, I believe. So it will be blacker than the graphite pencils in the 4B and the 6B. So I will use these, but probably not until closer to the end of the drawing. And then I've just got 2B in the Creta colour. And then the mechanical pencil, not sure if I'll use it or not. I haven't used it before. It was something that I received in an art kit a few years ago. I would believe it would be either a HB or a 2B that's in there. Got some blending stumps as well. Actually, there's another one there as well. So I've got some blending stumps. Again, wouldn't be used until the end of the drawing. 2 erasers, being just a little Staedtler eraser and kneadable eraser. Very important to always have a kneadable eraser if you're doing graphite drawing. Yeah, because you can just really, really get it fine. And then the old trusty sharpener. So I'll put all of these things to the side and we will get started. Remember to just, even if you can just pop a hello and where you are from in the chat so that I can see it. I have flicked the webcam on, but I have got the monitor in front of me as well. And again, excuse me for my cough, it's my COVID cough. So what I'm starting with here is I'm actually just going to just quickly map out, because I don't want to use up, this is an A3 drawing pad. I don't want to use, oops, sorry, I just touched that with my glasses. I'm just making an A4 area because I want this drawing to be roughly A4 in size. Don't want it to be any bigger because it will take me a lot longer. So I have just done that A4 sheet, just marked it out like that. So I might put a couple of little lines down there as well. Just so I can get the composition right for this. Now, when any kind of graphite drawing or colour pencil drawing, or even a painting that you're sketching up, it's really important to get your composition correct and all your light lines correct before you start putting in detail. Never to start a drawing and start detail too soon. You really need to be comfortable with the layout. I haven't seen any chat yet, so I'm hoping that it's working. This is my first time that I've done a live on YouTube. I can see that I have got a couple of people watching. If you are free to just say hello, please do. And in regards to what I'm talking about, if I'm not talking about the actual drawing, then I'm not sure whether I'll be actually saying much at all. I haven't got a lot to talk about. Well, I mean, I do, but whether or not it's interesting or not. All right. So let's get started. My image is right beside me here, but it is on the screen blocking my image. It's easier to see for you drawing along. So let's get started. So our ice cream is pretty much, I'm going to say, bang in the middle of that composition. So I'm just putting some guidelines in for that. The beginning of the hand or the wrist is starting right in the corner and coming not quite halfway up there. So I am just really just blocking in. Whoops, I don't know if you heard that. That was someone in the kitchen stepping on a plate, I'd say. So you're just blocking in shapes to start with. And then we've got this really nice angle. I think a plate has been dropped in the kitchen and my husband is telling the dog not to go and lick up. Hopefully you can't hear him. I've got the door closed. All right, so I'm not, yeah, it's very hard to see. Oh my goodness, now the vacuum cleaner's going. It's excellent, fantastic. Very hard to see what I'm doing here. I do have a studio light coming down and I wonder if I turned on I'm just going to see if I can turn on another light. I can see a bit of reflection happening. No, that makes it worse. Okay, I'm just going to turn on one of these lights. I'll put the other one on instead. Okay. No, that's worse. All right, I'll keep it at that. Okay, there's always going to be a few little difficulties when you starting these things. I'll become a pro at it soon, I promise. All right, so mapping out this. So I've just sort of like blocked in where shapes are going. And I know that is really hard to see, but with any drawing, you're just blocking out the shapes and also looking at your negatives as well. So your negative spaces being, say, and there's quite a lot of negative space. So that ice cream cone is pretty much bang in the center of the A4 piece. And then your negative shapes either side is pretty even as well. We haven't got a lot of negative shapes at all. We've only got this little area here and that one there, and then quite large areas. So that cone and everything is looking like it's in a good position there. So I'm going to start going a little bit darker here now. And just putting a little bit more shape into areas. All very light. I'm using the 4B. Don't want to do any fingers at the moment. I want to get that cone happening first. I'm not sure if the people that are watching are actually having a go at this ice cream as well. I hope you are. I forgot to set the timer on my phone. Here we go, timer. There we go, that's set for an hour. Obviously, there's not a great deal of detail needed in the scoops of ice cream because they're going to look like scoops of ice cream regardless of what shape I end up using. It's more so the hand that's going to be where the detail really needs to be correct. Hopefully you can start to see a little bit more detail coming through soon. Yeah, it will come. It will appear soon. Using a new webcam as well, so the first time I've used it, and just becoming familiar with it and its settings. It's actually right beside my eye, so if I do bump it, I apologise. Hopefully you can hear me okay too. I'll just turn my own volume up a bit. Make sure you say hello in the chat as well. Let me know where you're from and if you are drawing with me. The thumb is not a lot of detail. I can't see, it's quite light. The actual copy on the screen looks a little bit more defined than my printout. I've got the aircon on in this room because if I have the door open, there's no screen on the door. So if I open it up, just like that, I don't know if anyone saw that little bug fly past me. Oh, there he is again, trying to get in my face. Now I've got a problem here because I can see that cone is meeting me when I don't want it to. So I might just bring that shape in a bit more there. Actually, if I look at the negative space, this is the area I'm focusing on at the moment. If I look at that negative space as to what I've got too much room because there's the end of the page there. So I just need to bring this down a little bit more here to allow that end of the ice cream cone enough room around the arm there. And that is my cat, who is going to be painful and want to go out. I'll let her sit there for a minute before I actually do let her out. She doesn't need to go out, she's just been out. Okay, so that thumb, I want the thumb bit of the hand to be there. Okay, so I need to bring the cone out a bit further. I'm just going to I'm not too sure if you can hear any background noise at all. Okay, so let me see. The line of all the fingers is pretty much almost parallel with the ice cream cone. So looking at that, I want to make it, just put a guideline down there so that I can bring those fingers right out to that line. And I can see that I'm already looking too high between where the ice cream is here and that finger. So that finger will be around about there. So if you've just joined me, I'm using a 4B to do all the sketching in. I think I'm not entirely happy with the shape of the cone yet. So I'm just working back down here. The negative space between the cone, the serviette around the cone, and the side of the hand. It's not a lot there, so I'm gone out too far there. Got the little bit of tissue coming there. Got to be really careful with these fingers here that I don't try and add too much detail. Again, if I actually match it up, my ice cream cone is coming up a bit too high. The base of it needs to come down a little bit. That finger needs to come up a little bit to allow these three fingers to be in that space there. So this is where all the hard work is. Just getting everything. You've really got to look at those negative spaces just as much as the positive space. So between there and that was too low, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit there. And then that negative space there is going to be about to there. You must remember that I am fairly rusty. It's been a good 25 years since I was drawing on a weekly basis. So then that will wrap around there. And then we've got this negative space here, which is going to be about there. So I'm going to have to drop the hand a bit. My cone, that's what the problem was down the bottom here before. So this negative space down the bottom here, I need to bring down which is in turn going to allow that last finger to come in. I can't see any chat, so I'm hoping that it is working. If it's not, I'm apologise. We will fix the problem before tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so now I've dropped that down. That's going to make that tissue have a little bit more space. So that's that finger, and then the little finger sort of points out and it's going over the top of it. Okay, we're getting there, definitely getting there. Drawing very lightly so that I can erase all these just mark out lines. There. And then all the little details like the grid in the cone, they're all what you do last because they're easy. It's making sure that you get all these little bits of the hand correct, which I think we're getting there now. I look at that side. It is good to be able to be drawing the same size because I can look at it and go, wow, my hand is so much fatter than his hand. So I'm going to bring this thumb in a bit more. As you can tell, mine's actually not. I might actually see if I can draw that. It's very faint on mine. So I'll just... There we go. Okay, so I think we're looking a lot better now with our shapes. I'll start to drop in a little bit more detail now. I'm hoping, let me just check something. Yeah, no, I haven't got any messages, so I do hope that if anyone's got any questions, please do fire away. Even if you're watching this after the event, ask a question. I'll still answer it because it's going to be uploaded onto YouTube for everyone to watch afterwards. Now I am drawing in the serviette. So obviously the shape of the cone is going to change on the inside of his hand. And I probably need to allow a little bit more room. So I'll rub that line out now because it's not there. Well, it is a little bit there. Just again, now I'm looking at this area here and just trying to get... Go away, little bug. And the serviette overlaps here and just comes out to his fourth finger there. I chose this image because of having the serviette, excuse me, having the serviette around so that I wouldn't have so much grid to do. There was another image that had a much better ice cream in it. It was all melting down the sides, but it was a full cone. I'm only just getting back into this after 25 years of not drawing regularly. So I need to start with something that I'm not going to hopefully fail at. Just making that finger a little bit, actually it should be a little bit thinner than that. There. And that will come together just with shading, basically. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. Still a bit overexposed up there. But if I adjust the lighting anymore, you're going to get a lot of flickering on the screen, and we don't want that. Okay, so the cat's jumped off her perch. I think she's going to go to bed now. She lives in this room in my office. She is a rescue cat that I got when she would have been approximately she would have been about 2 years old, and she's about 7 or 8 now. Very timid, doesn't like my husband, but doesn't mind kids. So I think that she lived her first 2 years with a single female who possibly had some kids, and didn't didn't really meet any men at all, because she just won't have anything to do with him, which is a shame, because he'd like her to have something to do with him. But she lives in my cupboard. She has the bottom shelf. And she's black too, so her black hair gets on everything I'm drawing. Okay, all right, so I'm not 100% happy with the serviette. My shape here is a lot longer. I don't know why, actually. I've made it too long. Something that's not going to be a problem, like it's not going to look too different, but still, I want to try and get it as near as possible. The only thing on this that is going to look different is the hand, if I wasn't to do the proportions correct. The serviette, the ice cream, even the cone are not going to look wrong if they're not exact, which is good. Okay, so in the center of there, we've got a nice little drip happening. If you are following this along while you're doing something else, because obviously I can't speed it up at all, and you are drawing this ice cream with me at any stage, even after the replay, please make sure that you let me know, either by socials. Just look up Mrs. Red's Art Room on either Facebook or Instagram, or even Pinterest. I think I'm Mrs. Red's on Pinterest, actually. And also subscribe to the newsletter that goes out on a Wednesday night at 7:30, and it will have the image of whatever I'm drawing on the Thursday night. And that way you've got it for you. And like I said earlier, most of these images will come from Unsplash, which is a website that I actually contribute to as well, of photography that is free to use. You don't have to pay for it. So my way of saying thank you to them is to actually supply them with a few images as well. It's nice to know that my photography is getting out there as well. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about the ice cream and the shapes of it at the moment, because really anything will go. You can tell that that's an ice cream. All right, so, oh, look at that. If I block out that light there, you can actually see the top of the ice cream. I'll work on the lighting of this. I will get better at it. Maybe when I'm drawing that area, I'll bring it down a bit as well. Okay, all right, let's get these fingernails happening and everything. Start to get a little bit more of that detail in. This guy clearly bites his fingernails. just like my son and my husband. Now, looking at the shape of this finger here, I probably really should have brought it over a bit more, because that nail does not match up with where the cone is, whereas on mine it is. So I am incorrect there, but I'm going to try and see if I can just keep going. I wish there was a chat option on YouTube, but I mean, like as in you could actually speak up. So I can still see the screen though. And I have my mouse close in case it does go to sleep on me. Alright, so be interesting to see what happens with this hand in the end, because I know that the proportions down here are not correct. But I will keep moving on. I'd like to say that I'm striving for perfectionism here, but I'm not. I think it's going to take a few weeks to get back into the groove of things, to be honest. I am doing these lives purely for myself. I spend so much of my time working out art projects for everyone and don't tend to just sit and draw for myself. So that's the whole idea behind this, the accountability. There we go. All right, I might stick with the 4B at the moment because I'm pretty happy with it. And I will start to drop in a little bit more detail now. So I might get the kneadable eraser and just drop out some. Okay, I've got a big problem there. Just extend that finger out a little bit more too. Thank you to the person that is watching live. I understand that these things take a little bit of time to gain a bit of traction for. It's times like this that I wish I could sing, so I could just sort of like sing as I draw. I'm just going to move that fingernail now because I've just moved the thumb down. The finger down a little bit. My husband's watching the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in the background. I can hear him. I hope nobody else can. Hopefully you can just hear me from the microphone. I am getting a couple of people joining every now and again. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the time. Okay, well, that's not too bad. So I'm roughly looking at another 30 minutes. Like I said, it's all about, actually there's a negative space there. that mine is way too short. So I need to bring this finger out a lot more. Like I said earlier, the negative spaces are so important. And yeah, it will form that area there as well. So I didn't have to move the finger at all, just extend it. Okay, that's much better, much better. So at this point, maybe I should change to a 6B because I'm going to start adding a lot of the shading. I'm not going to do too much with the ice cream and the cone at the moment. I really want to focus on the hand and getting that, just the grip of that hand right first. The other thing that I've forgotten to do is either wear the glove or have a sheet of paper so that I don't smudge. That's all right. I can grab a sheet of paper. Okay, and I'll lie that there just so that I've got my hand on it. Yeah, sheet of paper, piece of paper towel, anything that's soft, so that the oil of your hand is not touching the paper too much, like it has been for me. And also you're not smudging your drawing. I do have a little cloth glove as well, which you chop out the first few fingers so that you can use your skin for grip, but it protects the bottom of your hand. Okay, that's all looking good. Oh, okay. I see what's happened. I don't know what happened there, but the stream disappeared. Sorry about that. Okay, so using the 6B now in the Faber-Castell Gold Faber, so that we can start to add that shading, the detail, the toning, the value. This is going to be where I start to use the paper stumps as well, just so that it's not too. It is just cartridge paper that I'm drawing on, but there is still a little bit of tooth to it, tooth or texture, and it will just be nice to smooth it out. These are dirty ones. They're either going to be good or bad. It's quite a dark line around there. And where's my... If you have just joined and it's live, or if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to pop any questions in the chat box. I will still answer them even after the live. They will still come up as notifications to me. And if you've just joined and you didn't hear me earlier, please subscribe to the Mrs. Red's website, which is mrsreds.com.au, so that you will actually receive the drawing every Wednesday night. So that if you want to participate and draw along, you will have the image that you can print out or just blow up on your iPad or something. It's just going to make it a lot easier than having to go off the one on the screen. Now, how am I going for time too? 26 minutes left. I need to speed things up. Good job I changed to the 6B, because I am known for taking my time. Where's that? I'll get into that nail. Bit of cat hair on there then. So these are called blending stumps that I'm using. They're just compressed paper. And sometimes the dirtier they are, the better they are, because they just transfer your graphite nicely, nice and smoothly. I have decided that these Thursday nights are going to be around 60 to 90 minutes. So I've set the timer for an hour, pretty much so that I know that I've got to try and stick to an hour. You can hear in the background now the cat's having something to eat. Okay, I'll just smooth all that out now. Okay, I might just move on from this finger here and just start on another area. Otherwise, I'm going to really run out of time. Pussycat's wanting to go out now. I will wait until she really annoys me before I let her out again, because she's already been out. I don't actually like that finger. I've shaded too much, so this is where the good old kneadable eraser comes in really handy. Florence, seriously. No rules where to start on a drawing, and it's good to move around, go back to an area. Very important when you're going over areas here to make sure that you're not putting the natural oils of your hand down on the paper, because you're transferring the graphite around as well. So I am trying to just sort of get around everywhere now, not trying to focus too much on one area. Cat's given up. She's gone back to her cupboard. Okay, how are we going there? So I have been streaming now for 51 minutes. But on my timer I've got 20 minutes left to be the hour. I might just neaten those bits up there. I'm leaving the grid of the ice cream till last. And if I run out of time, I will just shade it in. There'll be no grid. It really is not an issue. Oh, gosh, come back out. Okay, I think I'm going to have to just quickly get up and let her out. I can't leave the door open because we have no screen and I will get 1,000 moths in here. It is what is it now? It's nearly 8:30 at night. Oh, she's jumped up on the table. You may see the cat very soon. Florence, I do not want you up here. Yes, thank you. She's jumped up onto her little cat pole. Now, the hand where the thumb is very overexposed, very light. I will put some graphite down onto it, but then I will probably remove it again with the kneadable eraser. I'm pressing incredibly lightly with this 6B. I'd really like to use the Lumograph 6B as well, which is blacker again, but for this area here, I do not need it. I'll just shade this all in the same colour and then I'll put a bit more shading in where the thumb meets into the hand here, and then use the blending tool and kneadable eraser to take some of that graphite back off. Don't want to mess too much with little creases in the hand yet. I'm going to get a bit more of the drawing done before I do that. And quite dark here. Okay, how are we going? I have got someone who's put a message, but I'm not too sure what it says. I'm sorry. Trying to speed it up a little bit because I want to at least have the whole area of the drawing have some detail in it. At least I know that the chat is working because someone has put a message in there, but I'm not sure. Not really sure what it says. I'm sorry. It's just a couple of words that are in caps and lower caps. Okay, how's that looking on the screen? It's probably looking better on the screen than it is from my view. I will not worry about little crease lines in the hand at this stage. That is the fine detail that can be added right at the end. The only ones that I will sort of outline is just where the wrist is. It's amazing how long a drawing can take you to do. I'm not going for perfectionism here because I am wanting to time it to an hour and a half at maximum, an hour ideally, which is getting very close to. But I still want to have a fairly good sketch done by the hour and a half. Applying no pressure here at all, using a 6B pencil. It's fairly dark and fairly soft, so you can get some really nice shading done. With not a lot of effort. I'm going to go over this with the paper stump. I've just got to get some more shadow areas in here from the wrist. All right. Make sure that if you are drawing this ice cream, that you show me your results on socials, on Instagram or Facebook, Mrs. Red's Art Room. And that's the best way to be able to let me see. If you aren't on them or you don't have access to them, you can always email me as well, which is create@mrsreds.com.au. The website is in the notes of the YouTube video, and there is a chat option on the website, so you can always send me a chat, and I can give you the email address again as well if you can't reach me on socials. Okay, I might just start on a little bit of paper stump just to push that graphite around, smooth it out a little bit, and then move on to the ice cream and the cone. And, well, I've only really done one finger yet as well. So much to do. This time last week I was actually catching up with girlfriends, and I was thinking to myself, it's probably going to be my last Thursday night that I can do things like that for a while. It's the night I've chosen to draw. Okay, that's just smoothed out that graphite nicely. I'm going to leave that. It's not perfect by any means, but I just want to move on and get other areas sorted out. Okay, let's keep going on these fingers and then start on that cone. At this stage, I'm not worrying about the waffle of the cone. I'm just going to be more focused on just getting a bit of toning happening. I probably chose a drawing that's just a little bit too much detail for an hour and a half, but that's all right. I will learn, and I most likely will also get faster at this as well. That's the plan anyway. If you've just joined, hello. By all means, give me a where you're from in the chat. And this will become a YouTube recording after the live is finished. So you can watch it back, you can scan through it. Obviously, I can't speed it up while it's on live. I'm using a 6B pencil at the moment. I used a 4B pencil to get all the markup done of the sketch. Okay, that's quite dark there. I'm busting to try the Lumograph black. That will be a lot darker. This finger is looking shocking. I don't know. Yeah, it looks pretty much on screen as well. I don't know what's happening to it. It's all about the lighting. And the shading, getting that shading right. Very much a layer thing too. You don't just press really hard on an area. Actually, there's a little bit of a highlight there as well, a reflection. So I'll get the old kneadable eraser into there and just lighten that bit up a bit. Yeah, if you have joined me, by all means, just put in the chat where you're from, where you're watching this from. If you're in Australia or somewhere else in the world, I'm coming to you from Gold Coast, Australia. Gold Coast is in Queensland. I've got the aircon on tonight because I can't keep the door open because all the mozzies will come in. Okay, that's looking a little bit better there. Ooh, maybe not. Just get rid of that area there. I'm getting a little bit of reflection from the lights as well. I've got to have these rather big studio lights on. Okay, that I'm not overly happy with that finger, but I'm just going to move on because I am going to be running out of time. What time have I got left? Yeah, I've got less than 5 minutes left, which will be the hour. I intend to go for an hour and a half at least, but just wanted to try and do it in an hour if I could. Okay, now this white serviette is very light. I might go back to the 4 or maybe even the 2B. I might go the 2B because I really got to be careful. Oh, it's a very sharp lead. I will use the paper stump on this as well. But I have swapped over to the 2B and I'm putting absolutely no pressure on the page at all. Because the serviette is white and I don't want to leave it blank. You can barely even see that on the camera. Now that is quite a scribble effect that I've done there. I don't know if that's showing up, but it's all right because I'm going to be putting the blender onto it and it does have a little bit of texture in it anyway. I feel like this 2B is actually quite dark. It's a different pencil, different brand of pencil to the Faber-Castell ones I've been using, and it feels quite heavy for a 2B. Okay, where's my paper stump gone? My paper stump is quite dirty, which is good. I am not putting any pressure on the paper again with this because it is a dirty paper stump. I'm really just wanting to smooth out those lines. Spread the graphite around a little bit. There we go. Okay, we'll move on. We're getting there, we're getting there. I need to get a bit of that ice cream detail in too. Oh, this pencil is so hard. If I put any weight on it at all, it really scratches. This is a Creta Color pencil, an American brand. Don't get a lot of Creta Color out in Australia. It's not a very well-known brand out here, but they do a range of art supplies, paints, pencils, bits and pieces. If you can hear the opera music in the background, it is the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, and I would say it is on the skate rink. My husband, whoop. Okay, so that is my hour up. So we're looking at 30 minutes more. I'm just going to set that because it's good for me just to see how far I've got to go. Right. What's going on there? Okay, that's probably the most easiest part of the whole drawing, really. This 2B is definitely very dark for a 2B pencil. It's basically the same darkness as the 6B that I've been using. Now I'm getting a bit of reflection, a bit of shine on my page, which is not great when it's just because I've got the studio lights on. So it does make it a little bit harder for me to see how I'm going. Using the paper stump again, just wanting to blend out my lines, smooth them out. I wonder if I'll continue on with this once I stop the camera. Okay, I want to swap back over to the 6B again. This pencil feels quite harsh to use. I don't want there to be too much difference between the bottom part of the drawing and the top bit. So I will go back to the 6B in the Faber-Castell. Now this last finger, oh no, I've got this one here to go yet. Someone in the ice skating is dancing along to Elton John. I think it was a Rocket Man song. Good choice of music. Yeah, I feel like I'm not getting the darks that I want from this 6B. It could be just the pencil that I'm using. Different brand will be different. I'm resisting using the Lumograph, which is this one here, the Staedtler Lumograph. That has got charcoal in it, I believe. Got my, get rid of those sketch lines there. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. I'm not going to get too involved in this finger here. Try not to anyway. I just want to get a little bit more shading done to other areas of this drawing. Really trying to stick to that 1.5 hour mark. Now, I know that the camera says I'm at 1 hour 18 minutes, but I was not starting the drawing as soon as I hit the live button. So we're going off my phone. Need to work out how to get the timer up on the screen. So I have 24 minutes left. Should be fine. Feels a bit odd not doing the ice cream cone in yet, but I just don't want to. I want to leave it to last so that I know how much time I've got, whether or not I can do the waffle print in it, or whether it will just be just shading and toning. So I'm going to move on. It's going to be a bit hard because I need to do the darks of the ice cream where it sits on the cone. Okay, so I've got a bit of a line coming down here. Curl coming up there. I could really make all of this up if I want to. Everyone knows that it is a scoop of ice cream. But I'll do my best to get it as close as it is. If you have just joined, this is the very first live that I've done of me just drawing. It is a Thursday night routine that I want to adopt this year, and it is for very selfish reasons, which is getting me back into just drawing for the sake of drawing. So good for your mental state, and I do so many art projects that I create as a lesson for others to do, and I just have lost the being actually doing drawing for myself. I need to get back into it. So that was the goal this year, is to get back to drawing so I can just confidently draw again. Been a good 25 years since I did drawing on a weekly basis. So good for your mental state as well, especially if it's your thing, if it's your jam that you like, that you need to do. I'm going to move this. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's actually that bit there. Yeah, if it's your thing to do, then you got to do it regularly. If you like yoga, you got to do yoga regularly. Anything. Got to keep it up regularly for your mental health. Depending on where you are watching this, thank you for watching it. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. But as I've mentioned before, go to the website, which is in the details of this video, or will be when the live is finished. And just subscribe to the newsletter, which goes out on a Wednesday night. And it will have the image, an actual PDF, or I think it's a JPEG, of the image that I'm using on the night. So if you wanted to do the drawing as well, then you can print yourself out a copy or enlarge it on your iPad or even your phone, whatever device you've got that you can use. This really is just a matter of drawing in light areas and dark areas and just toning areas. And I'm going to have to get rid of some of my sketchy lines there as well. Please say hello in the chat as well. Let me know where you are watching this from. Even if you're watching the replay, I'd love to know where you are from. Hit the subscribe button. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 Queensland time, I will be doing a kids art project. I am an art teacher and done many years of kids art. So that's the other thing that I wanted to get back into is giving parents and school teachers some ideas to do with kids. And then the recipe card or the lesson plan, whatever you want to call it, that will get posted out on the Saturday morning on the same database. So you'll be getting the image that I'm doing in the Thursday night live on a Wednesday night. And then on the Saturday morning, you'll get the recipe card for the project that I did on the Friday afternoon for the kids. Tomorrow we are focusing on a lead light heart drawing because Valentine's Day is coming up. It's probably a little bit late to be putting out a Valentine's art project, but better late than never. And then next week's kids project is actually going to be around St. Patrick's Day. So that will be earlier. St. Patrick's Day is the 17th of March. And that one will be going out, I think it's the 17th of February. So that will be what's it called? Leprechaun's green hat and a clover. Perfect for school kids. Sorry, not school kids. Perfect for kids aged sort of 4 to 8. I'd say would be for the St. Patrick's Day art project. A little bit hard for me to do this, trying to keep the page. I'll just bring that down a bit actually. Sorry. It's a little bit exposed at the top because that's where the studio lights are at. Bit overexposed, I should say. So if I just bring it down a bit closer to me, that will help with that. How are we going for time now? 16 minutes left. I should be able to make this look like ice cream on a cone in 15, 16 minutes. I really want to put the waffle in on the cone too. I think I'll have time to do it. Okay, just get some more shading down, and then I'll go back over it all and put in some more texture. The good thing about something like the ice cream on the cone, it really does not have to be accurate as to what the picture is. Use the picture as a guide so that you get some shadows, some little divots, little holes in it, but it does not have to be accurate. It is always going to look like ice cream sitting on a cone. Very different to that hand though. The hand, it's really important to get that accurate. Okay, so I'm going to start adding a little bit more texture into this now. Sorry, one moment. I just need to wipe my eye. Okay, and just take a sip of water. All right, so need to bring a lot more lightness back into that area there. Got cat hair on my kneadable eraser. Common problem in this room. It's 9 o'clock now at night. I've been up since 5:30 and had a fairly busy day, so I am starting to feel a little bit tired now. Still recovering from COVID too, which was only 3 weeks ago. I am basically just doing some little dark areas and light areas. I don't like this bit out here. It doesn't look organic. I'm going to just make it up and bring it back in like that. I would love to change the pencil right now, but I'm not going to because I don't want it to look wrong from the bottom of the drawing. Started the drawing in at 4B and pretty much been using the 6B for all the dropping in the shading, all the tones. There's a moth hitting my light box. Don't know how he got in here. Room's all closed up, aircon's on. Start using the blending tool soon as well, just to get some blended areas in and then go over it again. I do fear I'm running out of time. I'm not going to stop it though. I'll keep going until I'm happy. Turn it a little bit there. A little bit easier for me to shade in. It's kind of hard to do this shading down the bottom here of the ice cream and ignore the cone. It's probably not looking great either because it's just going to a white space underneath. But that's all right, we will fix that up. Always make sure that you've got a piece of paper, paper towel or a cloth glove on so that you're not smudging your artwork. I'm not really putting any pressure down on this at all. I'm really just putting graphite down onto the page. Just layering, layer, layer, layer. Thank you for joining me. If you have watched through, I would imagine a lot will just skip through, and I understand that. I cannot speed this up. It is a live YouTube. If there is something that you would like to draw or would like me to choose as a subject for drawing, please let me know as well, either in this video or on the website. There's a little chat on the website that you can use, and you get me. You don't get some stranger. You actually get me who will answer to you. Okay, let's get a little bit of this happening because this is going to make that ice cream all nice and smooth rather than very graphite-y. And if you're joining me and haven't heard already, I'm using a paper stump now, which is basically just compressed paper. And it pushes the graphite into the texture of the paper, into the tooth of the paper. I am using just I think it's 110 GSM cartridge paper in an A3 sketchbook. Because I'm just using a graphite pencil, there's no need to use any different paper. Graphite's the best. Cartridge is the best for a graphite drawing, or illustration board would be my other recommendation. But you wouldn't use illustration board for something like this, which is a timed sketch really. I've just gone out over my line there, but because it was just with the paper stump, very easy to fix up. Okay, so I think that the original ice cream might have been vanilla and mango. And I think this one looks like it's more like going to be a chocolate one. Here we go here. Got to be careful with the ice cream because there isn't a great deal of texture in it. So let's do a little bit of the cone. Very aware of the time. I'm down to 7 minutes. I really, really would like to put this waffle cone in. I think I'll go for it. Bit of ice cream down there. Like I mentioned before, with something like this ice cream, I do not have to be accurate with where it's falling. It looks like ice cream. As opposed to the hand, if you don't get the hand accurate, it's going to look weird. That has to be accurate. Okay. Now where are these lines going? That one's actually going down there. I'll make one up there. Then oops. It's very hard to do this at the angle I'm on. Oops, sorry, that was my head clicking there. I've got the webcam right at eye level. It was my glasses that actually hit the webcam then. Now I've got to get that little bit of a sphere happening there too, the little ellipse, because it's not flat. My timer's going to go off again soon, but I will finish it. Okay, so this is going to help a little bit with the... I really feel like swapping over to the Lumograph pencil, but I'm going to try and resist. Just feel like this Faber-Castell pencil is not going as dark as it should be for a 6B. Better check that it is. Yes, it is the 6B. That would have been funny. Just feel that I'm having to use a fair bit of pressure to get it really dark. And that really shouldn't be the case. Now, obviously with the cone at the moment, trying to keep that grid pattern. Again, as long as I've just got the shading right, it's going to look like a waffle cone. Just got to get those shading right. Use your picture as a reference for this. It does not have to be exact. It's all about the shading. Fortunately, it gets a bit lighter as I go down on this waffle cone. Quite dark up where the ice cream is. Just feel like that ice cream has... Whoop. Yep, there we go. So we are at an hour and a half now, but I am going to finish it off. I'm not going to stop. And anyone who is obviously going to be watching this as a replay, you can easily just scroll ahead anyway. The angle I'm on right now, I'm right under the webcam, over to the side. It's very light this side. Again, I think if I just do little squares and just drop a bit of tone into the corners of them, the effect will be there. I don't want to spend too much time on the waffle cone, because if I got into detail, I would still be on the hand. I wouldn't have even started on the ice cream. Trying to keep this to as close as I can to an hour and a half sketch. Feels so good to be drawing though, and knowing that it's going to be a weekly thing again. Long overdue. Had 3 kids in that time. Moved state. Met a whole heap of new people. Yes, Pussycat. She is ready for her dinner. But probably very happy to have me in here at night time as well. Oh, you are you? Yes? Florence? Huh? Yes. Yeah, I think she's just happy for the company. How's that looking? That's getting there. Not too long to go now. And we'll call it a night. I'm not going to call this perfect by any means. It is a very good start though. Oops, went a bit dark with that one. I wrote a blog post on the website this week, just in regards to forming good habits, and it was all about this, and just using the YouTube lives as my accountability for actually getting back in and doing weekly drawing. I was doing weekly drawing for 4 years while I was at university doing my graphic design degree back in the, when was it, early 90s. And it was actually when computers was a subject. It was by no means a major part of the course. So we did a lot of life drawing, photography, illustration. It's just so much drawing, not using computers at all to rely on, which would be so different now. That was early 90s, and now we're 2022. It's a bit sad, really, because I know that anyone doing graphic design these days would not be touching a pencil. They would just pretty much be on a computer, learning how to do design on the computer and not get their hands dirty anymore. I mean, if that's incorrect, please let me know. I actually don't know, but that's just what I'm imagining, because computers play such a vital part in our life these days. We used to have to use bromides, which was a form of photography, really, on these big machines, for anything to be printed out. Cat wants to go out again. She's just going to have to wait. She's been very patient. I'm nearly done. Yes, I'll let you out soon. As I've said before, if you've got a question, put it into the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, I still will answer it. And the photo of this ice cream, forgive me, I don't remember the photographer's name, but it was from the Unsplash website. Okay, how are we looking there? It's acceptable. I tend to want to just... okay, all I'm going to do is I'm going to crack out the Mars Lumograph pencil. This apparently has charcoal in it. And I just really want to just have a bit of a play with it and see, yeah, I can... The blacks are so much blacker. But what I've got to be careful of is using it very evenly. So not just up in the ice cream. Excuse me. Otherwise it will look a bit weird. Yeah, I could sit and play with this one for a long time. It's really dark. And I'm not applying a huge amount of pressure for it to be dark either. The cat's trying to get into a cupboard now that she's not allowed in. Flo. Okay, just want to be really careful because this is such a beautiful... It's quite textured to draw with, quite rough feeling, not smooth. Oh, I'm starting to go a bit hard just there. You've got to be very careful with it. And I need to drop it into places like the hand as well, just so that it all looks like it's from the same set of pencils. Husband's putting the dog to bed. He has to do a routine every night. I'm not going to go over these areas with the blending tool. I'm really just adding to the darks. And I could keep going with it. It is nice to use, but it does also feel quite gritty. But it is adding just those darks that I need. It's starting to look a bit better. Alright. Okay, I will try and stop very soon. So hard to know when to stop. You could keep going and going and going on these things, but I'm not after the perfect drawing tonight. I'm really just doing this to get back in my groove. I will start to feel a lean towards certain pencils for sure, and I will buy more as well to use. Okie dokie. I pretty much want to call that done for the night. We're nearly at the 2-hour mark on the recording. So let's wrap it up. The cat's ready to wrap it up. So we'll call that finished, I think. Not bad for a first drawing. You can't see the detail. There's still pencil lines in between all that waffle cone there. I don't think that's coming up on screen. It is still there, but I'm just going to leave it there. It will look silly if I try and get rid of it. So I will finish this now. Thank you for watching. The details of the website is in the description, mrsreds.com.au, and subscribe so that you actually get the image of the drawing sent to you on the Wednesday night. And then you can print it out or enlarge it on your phone or iPad so that you've got the image as well. There's my full copy there and the image on the screen as well. So thank you. I don't know what I'm drawing next week. I haven't actually decided yet. So I will figure that out. And please write your comments below. Say hello. And remember that if you do this drawing, to let me know in socials. Just look up Mrs. Reds, or Mrs. Red's Art Room, I should say. I'm just trying to get a bit of highlight. I'll sit here and dabble away forever. I need to stop. I need to feed the cat and go and get myself a glass of wine. I think I burnt it. All right. Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop this now. Thank you for that. And I will see you again next Thursday or even tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 for the kids' art project, which is a Valentine's heart. I need to find where my mouse is. All right. Thank you. Bye.